Welcome to the yoga flow sequence for the late luteal phase of the women's hormone cycle. If you're somebody who is experiencing amenorrhea, feel free to sync up with the cycles of the moon. And in doing so, the waning phase of the moon would be considered the luteal phase. If you are a woman in day 28 to day 35 of your cycle, this flow is for you. This is designed to serve the late luteal phase of the women's hormone cycle. So ladies, begin at the top of your mat, standing in mountain pose, palms facing forward, relaxing your shoulders. Feel free to place one hand at your heart center and one hand on your belly and set an intention. It can be just one word. Take a deep breath. Find your deep breaths here as you begin your practice. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, folding forward into a forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, knees to mat, lowering all the way to your belly on the inhale, finding cobra. Elbows underneath shoulders, lifting through the chest, extending from out and up from the lower spine. You don't want pressure in the lower spine here. Finding your breath, deep breath in. And we exhale, gazes forward and up. Shift back into a child's pose. Take the knees wide, toes together. Shift your hips all the way back and walk your hands forward toward the top of your mat. Finding breath here. Very good. Inhale into all fours. As you inhale, belly lowers, gaze goes up, and on the exhale, spine arches, gaze goes down. On the inhale, cow, belly lowers, gaze goes up. On the exhale, cat, spine arches up towards ceiling, and the gaze goes down. Find a few more rounds of breath here on your own. Very good. And feel free to take some organic movement here as well. Find what feels good for you. Maybe that's barreling out your chest and belly if your spine is taking circles, for example. One direction and then the other direction. Find what feels good for you here. Take some neck circles, for example. Stay in tune with your breath. Very nice. Get ready to push your hips up and back, taking your first downward facing dog of your practice here. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Very nice. Walk your dog out, bending one knee, pressing the other heel down to the mat, and switching. Stretching out your hamstrings. Very good. Finding an audible breath here if that feels good for you. On the exhale, letting everything go. Just letting everything out. Finding that audible exhale here. On the inhale, gaze goes forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, straightening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, coming up to standing. And then we exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti, finding mountain pose. Coming into sun salutations now. Find a deep round of breath here. On the inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, step back, high plank. Option to take a chaturanga here if that is in your practice. Inhaling, on the exhale, pushing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up to ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Shoulders press away from ears. Inhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, foot steps up in between the hands, finding warrior one, dropping the back heel to the floor, hips face the front of the mat, arms reach up on the inhale. Very good. You want your knee over your right ankle, not in front of it. Keep those hips facing forward on the inhale. Really let those shoulders relax down and away from ears while the arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping back into high plank. Option to take a chaturanga here if that's in your practice again. On the exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up to ceiling. Three-legged dog. Inhale, knees to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog once more. And then exhale, step that foot up in between the hands. Drop the back heel to the mat. Warrior one. Finding your pose. Gaze is forward, finding your focal point. Shoulders relax. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping back to high plank. Option to take a chaturanga here. Exhale, push back to downward dog. Very good. Finding a few rounds of breath here. Option to take lion's breath on the exhale, sticking out your tongue and making a audible breath on the exhale. So take a few rounds of lion's breath here. Very good. On the inhale, gaze goes forward, feet step up to meet the hands, flat back, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming up to stand, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti. Now find mountain pose. Second round of sun salutations we're adding on here. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. On the inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to high plank, option for chaturanga. And then we inhale, and then exhale, shift back to downward dog. Very nice. Inhaling, right leg reaches to ceiling, three-legged dog. On the exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot up in between the hands, drop the back heel. Again, finding warrior one on the inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Hips face the side of the mat now. Finding a deep breath here and focus your gaze. Very nice. On the inhale, front arm reaches up overhead. Nice side body stretch here. On the exhale, extended side angle. Now is a good time to grab a block if you have one for extra support if necessary. Finding your breath here, option to take your upper arm, reaching upper arm towards ceiling or up overhead towards the front of the mat. Either way, it's a nice stretch for you. Inhaling, coming into a triangle pose, gently shift into triangle, using your block if you have one, if necessary. Engaging the core, really extending the spine, keeping the obliques engaged the whole time. Inhale, shifting back to standing, coming into an standing forward fold, wide-legged forward fold here. On the exhale, we shift forward, fold all the way down to the mat. Let your hands fall to the mat. Let your neck lengthen. Option 2, shake your head yes. Option to shake your head no here if that feels good. Yeah, option to grab opposite elbows. Really let that neck release. Let that upper back release here. Find what feels good for you here. All the meanwhile, stretching out the hamstrings. Deep breath in, deep exhale. Keep breathing. Stay in tune with your breath here. Shifting the weight into the ball mounds of your feet and really finding a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Letting the lower spine release now. Inhaling to flat back, walking the hands underneath your shoulders, taking your hands to hips, engaging the core, coming up to standing. Arms reach up overhead on the inhale. Exhale, walk the feet slightly together more, coming into a yogic squat. So option to take your elbows to your inner knee, really lengthening through the spine. You want a straight spine in this posture here, opening in the hips. Take your gaze forward and down. Let your shoulders relax down and away from your ears. Very nice. Coming into a forward fold, gently making your way back to standing posture here. Hands to heart center. Stepping up to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, step back to high plank. Option to take a chaturanga here. Taking one round of breath here. And on the exhale, shifting back to downward dog. Very nice. Inhaling, left leg reaches to the ceiling now, three-legged dog. On the exhale, knee to nose. Step that foot up in between the hands, shifting up to a warrior one. Very good. Knee does not go past your ankle. Knee is right above your ankle, in fact, ideally. Exhaling, warrior two. Taking your gaze forward, try to just focus on your pointer finger. Very nice. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over. On the exhale, finding extended side angle once again. If you have a block, utilize it and keep your obliques engaged here. You're lifting up through your core, through your chest. Chest stays lifted. Gaze is up. If you're able to, take your gaze up. If not, keep your gaze down towards your mat. Totally fine. Very nice. Stay in tune with your breath here. Deep inhales and deep exhales. On the exhale, we lift, shifting our stance a little bit closer, coming into triangle. Shift your hips back, reach forward, and again, utilize your block if you have it. Staying lifted through the chest, keeping those obliques engaged too. Gaze is up. If you can keep your gaze up, keep it up. If not, take it down to the mat. And we engage through the core, come up to stand. And once more, preparing for a wide-legged forward fold here. On the inhale, lift your chest up. On the exhale, shifting forward, folding all the way down to your mat. Feel free to grab the outer edges of your feet here. That makes for a deep hamstring stretch. And stay in tune with your breath. Very good. Staying in tune with breath while taking an inversion is a priority. Very good. Just finding what feels good for you. On the inhale, coming all the way back up to stand. Keep that core engaged, stepping to the front of your mat. Once more on the inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Keep a bend in the knees if that's comfortable for you. And here we're going to come into a posture where you grip onto the heel of your feet. Both hands do. Bend your knees and take your chin to your knees. Bend your knees as much as possible because you want to keep your chin connected to your knees in this posture here. If you need to bend your knees so your hips are seated down like you're in a chair, that's fine. Keep that chin connected to your knees here. And on the inhale, see if you could straighten your legs any more if possible, coming into a little bit more of a hamstring stretch. Keep that grip tight on your heels and stay in tune with your breath on the inhale. Hips go up a little more. Stretch those hamstrings. Very good work, ladies. Release, coming into a flat back on the inhale. Exhale, step back, high plank. Option to take a chaturanga here. And then exhale, shift back to downward dog. Very good. Finding a few rounds of breath here as we start to wind down the practice. Option to take a round of lion's breath or two, where again on the exhale you stick out your tongue and make an audible noise. It really helps to just let everything out of the system, so to speak. Yeah, if it feels good for you, go with the lion's breath. Such a good way to release everything. Shifting forward into high plank, and then exhale, gently lower all the way down to your mat, stacking the palms on top of each other and just gently swaying the feet side to side here, releasing the hips and the lower spine. Be gentle with yourself. Very good. On the inhale, coming into a supported cobra, hands underneath shoulders, and then inhale, lifting the chest up, taking gaze forward and up, engaging the core, engaging the back. Exhale, lower down, all the way down. Inhale once more, tenting the fingertips, engaging the core, lifting up. Gaze goes forward and up, chest is lifted, taking a deep breath in. Very good. Exhale, lower and release. Inhale once more, tenting the fingertips, shifting the chest up, engaging the back. Spine lifts out and up from the lower back. Gaze is lifted, chest is lifted. Exhale, we lower. Very good. Shift back into a seated position here. And gently make your way into fire log pose. If you have blocks, keep them handy. Fire log pose is essentially stacking your shins on top of one another. You want both heels flexed. You want both feet flexed. This protects the knees, ladies. This is important. So keep the knees protected. Flex your feet. If you have blocks, place them underneath your knees, both of them. If you have two blocks, utilize them. This is such a great hip stretch, ladies. Keep up the good work. Stay in tune with your breath here. Very good. Gently release the posture, and you're welcome to sway your knees side to side to shake it out, so to speak. Coming into the other side, fire log pose. Again, utilize your blocks. Keep the feet flexed, ladies, and breathe into your hips. Be patient as your hips open, and painfully thank you for putting them through this pose in such a way where it is healthy pain, so to speak. You just want to make sure you're really protecting your knees. You do not want to feel any pain whatsoever in your knees. Stay in tune with your breath here. And gently make your way out of the posture, swaying your knees side to side, shake it out, rolling all the way down to lay down on your mat, taking Samastiti here, feet together, knees go wide, One hand on belly, one hand on heart center, letting your system relax. Very good, ladies. Make your way into a shoulder stand if this is in your practice, ladies. Otherwise, take feet up the wall, which essentially you'll keep your hips on the mat and take your feet up to the wall. You're welcome to support it with a block. That's an optional modification. Otherwise, take shoulder stand. Very good. Stick with your breath. You want your hips aligned with your shoulders. Keep your hands supporting your lower back. Very good. Option to take wheelbarrow here. Staying in tune with your breath all the while. Very good work, ladies. Support your spine as you lower all the way back to your mat. Now finding a fish posture. So crown of the head goes to the mat as your chest lifts, taking a gentle back bend here. Keep your hands on your hips, kind of press into your hips for extra support. Elbows press into the mat, of course. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, come out of the posture here. Finding a child's pose. Finding any final movement before your Shavasana pose. Hugging knees into chest. Give yourself one big hug. Finding that intention you had set at the beginning of your practice again. And now coming into Shavasana, get yourself comfortable. Take your feet wider than your hips. This allows your body to really relax and supports your nervous system to relax. Palms face up. Relax every muscle in your face. Close your eyes, relax your jaw, relax your tongue, and just let your breathing return to normal here. Resist any desire to wiggle or move around or anything like that. Let yourself be still here and let your mind go if you can. Relax. Very good. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a full body stretch, reach your arms up overhead, and gently make your way into onto your side into a fetal posture here. Again, feel free to return to your intention. Take a gentle round of breath here. And slowly make your way into a seated position, taking your hands to heart center, finding gratitude for yourself, for finding time for yourself on your mat today. Really just finding gratitude for this practice for yourself, being grateful for the self-care, for the support you've chosen for yourself. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.